Entitled woman knocks on my door wanting an ornament. But I wanted tears of joy. The amount of adults who never graduated from childhood is staggering. Even as a kid I understood just because I wanted something, it didn't mean I was entitled to it. These people are a walking plague. Daddy, I want an Oompa Loompa no www. I wonder how many times she has tried this in the past. I assuming she did, and the person said you're asking for something of mine without even offering anything in return, which is why she was saying, but I offered $5. Man, I wonder where some people get the balls. Like, I would never think walking past a house that I could just buy decorations. Like, I get small talk like asking where you got it from and how much and etc. so you can go get it yourself, but goddamn, just straight up asking for something. Like, I can be fairly shameless at times, but even still there are limits. This is when you start singing, "You can't always get what you want," and followed up with, "Bye bye bye." I just wonder how you can have these thoughts in your head but then actually act on them. Gee, I like that thing on this random person's lawn. I better to offer them a pittance for it and fight when they don't agree. Word of might break the windows to get it when you're not home. Similarly, I got a takeaway delivered the other week and the driver, apropos of nothing, pointed at my car in the drive and asked, "You selling that? Give you $1,000? I could really do with it for work." There is nothing whatsoever about my car to suggest it's up for sale. I'll be honest, I just kinda looked at him like WTF. I was so taken aback. The lady saying "but I want one" reminded me of my nephew seeing an excavator working in a field, screaming, "Grandma, excavator in the field, I want one." Mind you, he was 3. Okay, I'll give you £5 and 1 penny and not a penny more. Tell the old bat next time you see her you sold it to the highest bidder, rolling on the floor laughing. Oh no, what's that behind you? She turns to look, doors get closed. I mean, if she had tried. "Excuse me, I see you have this little lantern in your window. I have really wanted one for a while. Where did you get it?" May have held better results for her. We had someone that kept on asking if they could buy our car. Would not stop. DH got annoyed and eventually told then he was willing to sell at 10x the price that it could be bought second hand. They got so angry with the audacity of him expecting so much money that he never asked again. So now you know that a second-hand lantern is at least £40. So if she were to ever darken your doorstep again, the centime, not the asshole L value, is £80. Dense, possibly extra. The entitled ignorance is real, so she thinks you should give her a huge discount because she wants it? You should have told her, well, you want to be rich. Can she please help you with that? LMAO. Sorry for your loss. This infuriated me. Once, when I was very young, and we were very poor, my mother was selling a rocker through nickel ads. She also had a water pitcher that originally came from the hotel in her tiny hometown, torn down a century ago. It was my mom's prized possession. This woman came in and thought the rocker was junk. Then she started looking around for what else we had that she might want. She tried to buy the pitcher from Mom for a pittance, and seemed to think Mom would have to sell it to her because we were poor. Mom cried after. And I am still angry for my mom 60 years later. The arrogance. She did not need an explanation, just a door slammed in her face. "But I want one." Then you must get used to living with disappointment. I would have closed the door as hard as I could on her foot. Op. Check your locks by a Ring camera. I wouldn't put it past this woman to try to break in to steal it when you're not home. All it takes is popping a side window to get what she wants. I'd also take it away from the window for a while, store it where it can be seen from outside. I'll never understand how some people never seem to outgrow this, but I want it phase. If you are over the age of 8 yo, you should know by now that this phrase does not work in the real world. If you are over 18 yo and are still using it, you are just a sad immature child in a semi-adult body. If you are still using this phrase when you are in your 30s, I've lost all respect for you. It's like when people used to come to my store after close and wave $5 at the window. Fuck you. My time is worth more than your $5 that I'll see about 5 cents of. Or when I worked in a liquor store and wasn't allowed to sell alcohol to drunk people. The local homeless people were all fine. Some of the nicest people you could ever serve. But try and tell a drunk business person they can't have alcohol even though they have money and they're very important, and it just didn't compute. I've had almost this exact interaction, but over a level of entitlement is unreal. Hey, that thing you have. Can I have it as I've seen it now and I want it? How about no? If you want one, go find one that's actually for sale. I would have loved to have seen the interaction on camera, doorbell her giving it. But, I want it. I've offered to buy it. It's mine, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. This the kind of spoiled rotten adult you get when you never tell your child no. But what if I want it more than them? It's still stealing. Move it away from the window. She will smash and grab it unless upstairs window. My parents always said, if you want something, be more than prepared to overpay for it. Bid like you want it. Stop me from wanting a ton of stuff. Someone's parents didn't telephone this lady no enough. Oh, but you want it? Okay then. Face with rolling eyes. So Veruca Salt is all grown up. I'm hoping I used Google wrong and messed up the exchange rate. Please tell me she did not offer the equivalent of $1.26 USD for what I assume to be a gorgeous fixture. You should have quoted her some ridiculous price. Like, sure, I'll sell it to 1K. Then when she's leaving, say but I thought you wanted it? Alright, Veruca Salt. Calm down. Go and ask daddy to buy you one. I was giving away an entertainment center and the lady sent 2 guys to pick it up who didn't say a word to me. After they left, she messaged me asking if she could have things the guys noticed as they were carrying the center out of the house. A set of Chinese lantern lights and a PS3. Just because I wanted this big thing out of my way doesn't mean everything else is also forgive away. Please show me the item, lol. I'll give you £6 for it, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. It's weird to me that people entertain BS. I mean, I appreciate the read, but soon as I said it's not for sale, the door would have been closed and that's it. Veruca Salt lives. Dementia patient? Okay, I admire the chutzpah knocking on a person's door in this way. I never understand how people do things like that. If you were having a yard sale, maybe approaching to ask about it. But even then the gall is unbelievable. Should have told her £500, and if she asked again, new price is £5,000. Do I look like a shop? And people in hell want ice water. Hello random stranger, I just saw one of your belongings in the window and would like to buy it for 1/10 of its price. Wait. What? I can't have it? But I want it, so give it to me. Like seriously, not everything you see is yours. Ya ain't a cat. Mine. I would have just shut the door after her first not accepting no for an answer. And if she stuck her foot in to block it, I would have pepper sprayed her. What kind of lantern was it? Lol. Reminds me of a salesman who was at my place once. I have a giant vase with ceiling high colored fronds in it. Think 70s-80s decor, and this salesman would not stop asking me to sell them to him. I ended up having to kick him out because he wouldn't stop. And I certainly didn't buy what he was selling. It's like, dude, you asked. I said no. Drop it. Now I need to see how fancy this lamp is. But daddy, I want an Oompa Loompa now. Why would you give 2 minutes? It's a good place to drop that old saying, sounds like a personal problem. Maybe she's starting to suffer from dementia? Did she threaten to call corporate or ask to speak to your manager? Should buy another one and place it in the window alongside the original. This would really piss her off. You know the definition of a selfish person? Someone who doesn't think enough about me. Like I tell my kids all the time. You can want in one hand and saint in the other and see which one fills up first. I tell everyone, unless I throw it out or say I don't want it anymore, don't ask for it. Mine means mine. What are the odds that she knew what it was worth and what she could sell it for? A lot of meeker people might sell stuff to her just to make her go away. Veruca Salt? She must have been insufferable as a child. But I said, please, you have to give it to me now. Well, now I want to see a picture, haha. Perhaps she was suffering from dementia. At least to me it doesn't sound like she was entirely there. A woman who's never heard the word no. Surprised she didn't jump you. I'll give her an ornament. Cheeky foofing mare, I think you were very reserved given how rude she was XX. But daddy, I want an Oompa. I make my lanterns from grapevines and addressable LEDs, think animation. They're not for sale. All 50 of them. Reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy at the end. Rocket says, but if someone has something and I want it, you haven't seen the movie. It's an absolute riot. 47F. Man, I need to see this magical lamp that made a grown adult lose all sense of human decorum. Dementia? There's a very old school phrase I don't use much, but did use on my children every so often. Then want shall be your master, aka don't be ruled by your wants. And absolutely don't expect me to cater to all your wants. I would have called her Veruca Salt. You should get 2 and have a matching pair. To quote my great-grandfather, there are men in hell wantin' an ice water but they ain't gettin' it. This is one of the times that I think it's appropriate to say, are you fucking stupid? If anything, she won't bother you because you're rude. Is it possible she was mentally disabled? I love that OP did not slam the door in her face immediately. I can be that petty when my hackles are raised. Especially when I know that nothing is going to change my mind. Keep talking. Asshole. I want to see how pissed off you'll get. Tree Fitty. Last offer. Because I like to take something off people like that. Even if that's just their time. And chances are, I'll be in a similar situation at some point in my life. I'll ask the crowd here for an advice. Let's imagine I invited such a person to my house to take a closer look at the item. Maybe even to get a cup of tea while doing so. And let's imagine I had a change of heart mid-conversation. How much of a trouble I can get a person in if I order them to leave my house and they refuse to do so immediately? Damn it. I'll give you $10 for it. As a nanny, I'm already seeing that the next gen will be even worse. Who else is willing to bet that woman's parents were the type to give her anything she asked for on a silver platter because she wanted it, and then they grow up and find out that in the real world, people aren't so spineless? I don't get. Why is there suddenly a bunch of people knocking on the door to ask to buy stuff they see in your yard or on your house? I constantly get people knocking and asking if I want to sell my house, trucks, and sometimes the damn trees. Buy more so you have one in every window for her to see. I see Veruca Salt hasn't changed much. Why do people do this? As soon as someone asks for something, you're in luck. I was just thinking about selling it. It's an original tzatziki sauce that's been in my family for generations. As you're a neighbor, I'd be willing to let you have it cheap, $3,500. Big smile. But every stranger whose house I randomly have approached has sold their possessions to me before. But I want one, and children in hell want ice water. I mean, no means no. I don't know how else to say that. Woman shrugging. I would be tempted to leave it in her window all year. I was just window shopping, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, see no evil. Wait, what does it look like? Maybe I want it. Sarcasm noted. Perfectly deployed. Why I don't answer the door for strangers. $6? Go buy another one and hang it next to the first one. Oh, Veruca, bombastic side eye. Do you have any idea who that lady thinks she is? God, the audacity to deny her your lantern S. The only person I pull the "but I want it" card on is my partner. And even then, it's usually something he wants for himself but can't justify spending the money on. Or I'm being a little shit and being bratty, as that's our relationship. Can I have it now? I skimmed through the whole thread and can't find the link to the pic of what this is. I recently had a 2-week gig nannying for a 3-year-old. That was also his reasoning for everything. Better hide it. But I want you to sell it to me cheap because I'm standing here in front of you, getting more and more hostile as I go. Aren't you going to give in? Don't you realize that I can stand here and argue all day because I have nothing better to do? Gimme, 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 rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. Some people face with rolling eyes. $350, thanks. It's the best of its type. Immaculate. And one of its kind. Each time you try to bargain, it goes up $50. Any argument, it goes up $75. Make your choice. Or leave silently. Indecent proposal. Gary V in disguise? This would also be perfect on our choosing beggars. I'll give you 6. Is my credit good? To me this sounds like a person with mental delay, who has been to a garage sale in the past. They got it into their mind that things can be bought from private homes for cheap and missed the cue that in that case there should be a yard sale sign and table in front of the house. Poor Gollum. I would immediately buy a few more and hang them in the window next to the first. My friend had a funny sign in her window. A lady did this game with her and my friend was like, fine. BRB took the sign down and reopened the door and asked the lady for the money. The lady gave her $2 when she promised $10, which my friend suspected would happen, and she's like, where's the full $10? Single quote. A entitled hag, you argued with me about it, so I'm not giving you $10. Friend, I feel way less guilty about this now. And hands her a photocopy of the sign. Tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy. Slams the door and the lady called the police. The police said you get what you paid for. Okay, I know in which sub I am at the moment and what it's about and what I can expect. But people still amaze me nonetheless. 1. You entertained her for way too long. 2. You gave her way too long to move that foot. Veruca Salt learned nothing from her visit to the chocolate factory. Face with rolling eyes. For lantern's sake, link us to an image of one of these lanterns. The moment she stuck her foot in my door would have earned an immediate stomp. I hope you have cameras just in case she tries to steal it. Put a $1,000 price tag on it and keep it in the window. Veruca salt, but daddy, I want one. 2 minutes? I would have given her 2 seconds, or depending on my mood, no warning at all. Do you feel badly about not selling to her? Sounds like you were bothered and offended by her, but also would have liked to share something that matters to you. Regardless of price paid, there will be people you can feel good about sharing with, and they will show caring when they receive it. She may have wanted to talk with you more than anything. Would you accept a kindly offer of £6?